What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 324 of Opinions May Vary. I am your host, JR. My co-host with me, Alex.
Hello.
Alex, thanks for joining me again.
You're welcome.
You did it again. One more time. Joining us this week as a guest host is our good pal, John. John, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Good to be here.
John is a guest host this week because the past couple times John's been on, his forte has been like the toys, the figures. John has become quite the collector and what's the word I'm looking for? Like expert, you know?
Educator.
Yeah,
I learned a few
there
things
it is.
from him.
It's educator. Because waiting patiently on Skype right now, we have two fine people ready to talk to us for the next couple minutes here. We have Sarah Booz and Josh Kimberg from the 5 Points Festival. Sarah
Hello.
and Josh, thank you so much for coming on.
Howdy.
Hi.
We're going
glad
to
to
get
be
right. We're glad you're here too. We're going to get right down to business because I know you guys you literally have a convention in like 6 days. So we're going to get right down to business.
This is like, we're going to go
That's
to 50
amazing.
hours. It's about 50 hours from here.
Yeah. Yep.
If
Well-
you can find those 6 days, I will take them.
Yeah, I want 6 days back.
So 5 Points. Alex and John are going to be attending it this year. Last year it was one of those things that it happened and then it was, oh God, it happened. Why didn't we go?
Between me, John, and Brett, like, we'll talk about it and, like, we'll be like, oh, it would have been great to go to this thing. And then we just miss it. But this year, John was on the ball and was like, let's do this. And I was like, you're right. We should do this.
I'm super glad you're doing it. It's a
Yeah.
good idea.
It managed to encompass a bunch of things that we're into. John likes toys and figures. I'm into collectibles. I've got a few things. I've got some Dr. A figures and some Eric Scarecrow figures. And
Awesome.
if there happens to be a vendor there with some good Ashley Wood, I might leave with my wallet a bit lighter.
You're not. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah. One of us. You get it.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. And even then, once we start seeing what illustrators are there, and we're like, there's like people that we normally see at Comic Cons, they're doing Artist Alley stuff. And we're like, that's also part of our game.
Do you guys like beer?
Yeah, I will definitely partake. I'm sure I'll be drinking for Alex.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Okay.
I'm not a drinker, but
That's fine. Do you like food? Because we've got that too.
yo,
Food is pretty great. So now, I mean, it literally sounds like the show encompasses everything great.
Yeah.
But for the people at home who may not be aware, Sarah and or Josh, 5 Points Festival, what is it? Give us a quick like synopsis. What can someone expect to see if they were to look into this show?
5 Points Festival is literally one of the greatest lineups of designer toy artists from around the planet in New York City, and a killer party with craft beer and live painting
And gourmet.
and gourmet food. So our design of the whole weekend is let's bring in the best artists, the coolest people from around the planet who make the sickest designer toys and throw a kick-ass party.
that sounds like a good
That's
time.
Get a
Yeah.
pitch.
I like pretty much everything you said. How did you guys get involved with 5 Points? Have you been with it? I'm not too familiar with the history, how long it's been around. Like, have you been with it from the start? Like, what's your history with the show?
I'm one of the founders of the show. Sarah came on this year as
Helper monkey.
no. She's like fucking. Can I curse on this show?
Yeah, it's
Do
fine.
it.
Yeah.
Do it. Okay. She's like integral helper monkey. It's ridiculous.
I got a special hat.
The genesis of 5 Points Festival is, we're from Clutter Magazine originally. So my wife Miranda O'Brien started Clutter Magazine 14 years ago in England, and brought it to the U.S. 8 years ago. And out of Clutter Magazine, we created the Designer Toy Awards, and this is the 8th year of the Designer Toy Awards. And what actually happened was we were running the Designer Toy Awards as part of New York Comic Con in October. So every Saturday night for about 5 or 6 years, the Designer Toy Awards was the party for the designer toy scene during New York Comic Con.
Do you guys remember the block at New York Comic Con?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that place is great.
we're at the Designer Toy Awards on the Saturday of
Right.
Comic-Con.
And so we used to work with New York Comic Con to basically try and organize and bring in people to, make the block killer. And there's stories behind that. And so 2 years ago, we just really realized that we were never going to be able to grow the way we wanted to grow as part of like an appendix to New York Comic Con. And we met some really cool people who were willing to invest in us. And last year we had our first 5 Points Festival. So in a lot of ways, we anchored this with the Designer Toy Awards. And we were just so honored that we took this huge risk last year where we said, hey, everybody, come to New York, not in October. Will you all come to New York in June? I think last year was May. And come to the award ceremony, and we're going to throw this killer festival, and we're going to have, everybody's going to come in, and we're going to have beer, and it's just going to kick ass. And everybody showed up, and it was fantastic. So last year really blew us away. And this year, we've just tried to make things bigger and better and really expand the designer toy offering. Last year since it was the first year, some people were not sure if they were going to come or not. This year, I feel like, everybody's turning up, and we've really expanded our beer selection this year. So we're sponsored by Lagunitas. They're our main sponsor, and they are absolutely fantastic. They sponsor our live painting event, and actually last year they sponsored a mural, which is still up on 2nd Avenue in Manhattan.
A giant Kano mural.
I saw that I saw your post as that was being painted, and I was that looked amazing.
That's cool.
So I just, shout outs to Lagunitas and Fred Abercrombie. Thank you so much for hooking us up every year. And then this year we also have participation with Threes Brewery, who are running our beer garden, and 6 Points, It Brewed Us, and a New England style IPA, which we're calling Equal Measures, which was designed by CZ13. And we're also doing an exclusive beer can with KCBC. I don't know if you guys know them. They've made it's a smoked
Helles lager.
And
it's delicious. It's very drinkable. It's got sort of
really good.
Brett's going to be jealous.
Yeah.
Available over the weekend.
So we have 200 exclusive cans also with artwork by CZ13.
Which are collectible. We're really big on collectible.
Yeah.
There we go.
One of the things...
that was some story and up to the minute.
Yeah.
One of the things I really dig about this show is the fact that it's highlighting so many artists and what they make. And here at Opinions May Vary, we're big fans of artists and supporting live events. And there's a lot that can be said about the independent toy and figure genre,
Scene.
right? The scene, yeah. Because one of the neat things is that, without trying to sound too pretentious, a lot of the artists get to be true to themselves, where they're going to make this toy, this little figure, this thing, and other people might look at it and be like, that is ugly. Why would anyone want that? But they're still making what they want to make.
Yeah.
So there's no corporation. There's no one telling them how to design stuff by committee. They're making what they want to make, and they're painting it how they want to paint it. And I'll support that.
No, 100%. Well, Josh actually has a huge release happening at the show through DC Collectibles.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He's gotten to design a resin double cast Batman figure, which is really cool because it's very much a designer toy, but it's also very much Batman.
That's it.
But DC Collectibles, if you look at their Instagram, they posted it, and the normal DC fans are like, "That is shit. What is wrong with you?"
Well, a funny thing, we just had Newligan on, I think last month.
Yeah. About a month ago.
And so Newligan has four figures and a
The bookends.
the bookends.
Yeah, Joker and Harley.
Yeah. And it's they made these figures with his style in mind,
Which is very not like most
yeah.
DC, most of the stuff you'd expect to see in DC.
And they've also they gave Chris Umunga figures and Shmoo, I think it was, or unless I'm getting the name wrong.
I'm not familiar.
There's the third one I keep
Yeah.
forgetting. But DC Collectibles is they're really trying some new stuff and trying to reach, a different market. And I dig that too, because they're giving other artists a shot besides just draw Batman the way Batman's always drawn.
Yes.
They're making it different. They're giving some effort in.
Really happy and proud that DC Collectibles is working so hard to push. It's just funny to see the reaction from kind of normal.
The people who like go to Forbidden Planet and get the piggy banks, those like plastic piggy banks. So like this.
Oh boy.
But I mean, the thing is, I'm laughing about it, but it's also our greatest hope that the average person comes to 5 Points and discovers Instinct Toy, discovers Planet X, discovers Rampage, discovers Black Book, discovers Lulubelle, discovers, all these amazing artists, and comes in like, we want people to feel welcome, and we want them to come discover and to make it just accessible. This is affordable art, and it's amazing. If you like cute, or you like ugly, you like monsters, or you like.
We have a lot of monsters. If you like monsters, definitely come.
I'm a huge fan of monsters, so I'm gonna be probably in heaven.
John's gonna be he's gonna be living it up, because not only is John a huge fan of just the collectible genre, but the collectible genre including monsters. Like that's literally like his alley.
Yeah, like it probably started with Universal Monsters, but it's gone on from there. So I'm sure it'll all be fantastic.
So he's a kaiju. You're a kaiju fan?
Oh yeah, like there's so many, but like like Godzilla, obviously, and like all of them. I like everything from like Pacific Rim and like so on and so on. But like yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's there. I can't wait.
You're going to be very happy. You're going to have a really good time.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of the robot. Tom, one of our friends.
There are many robots.
This guy Tom Frank. He lives out in California. He loves giant robots, and I can't think. He loves like one of the classic ones from the 80s. I keep forgetting. I can't remember the name of it. Bad story, Alex. Anyway,
a robot from the 80s.
Can you tell us what is in line for panels? Like, are there? Because I see on the map there's a panels room laid out, but there's no posts about what there might be to go experience.
The main panel we're having, there was a recent launch of a new toy line called Super Plastic, launched by Paul Budnitz, who founded Kid Robot, and Huck G, who's a world famous designer, toy artist, and creator. And they launched their product on May 15th. But this is really their coming out party. Still got a Kickstarter running right now. If you look up Janky or Super Plastic on Kickstarter, you can find the campaign.
They're killing it,
and it's huge and it's crazy and it's changing the scene of the designer, or the face of the designer toy scene. But we're having their coming out party, and they're doing a huge panel at 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, where they're talking about the future of the company and where Janky's going, and they're announcing the giveaway of a 4-foot tall Janky figure.
I saw that.
Yeah, which they'll be announcing at that panel. So really, that's the room for, if you have a VIP ticket, you can go hang out and drink in there. And then we're doing this big coming out party for Paul and Huck and Super Plastic in there.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's going to be really cool. We'll be live streaming it as well. So if you look at the 5 Points Fest Instagram or the 5 Points Fest Facebook at 3 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, we'll be live streaming those panels. So if you signed up, they might announce your name for winning that 4-foot Janky.
One of the before we got to this point, John, I know, was perusing the Instagram, and he had like sent, I think it was me and Brett or me and JR, the image of the giant Outer Spaceman figure that's getting made. And John, and without seeing like what it was, John's like, "This looks cool," and I was like, "It's one of the Outer Spacemen." John's like, "Oh, that's like," and we didn't put it together from just the picture. But I've been collecting a few of those over the years when they would appear at New York Comic Con, because like 2 would be sold at one booth and 2 were at a different booth, and you kind of had to like adventure through the entire convention to get them all.
Well, Mel, the creator of the Outer Spaceman, will be there at the Outer Spaceman booth. Gary, who's running it now, will be there. The 8-foot tall Colossus Rex will be there, ready to take photos.
That's so cool. I'm definitely getting a selfie with that. That's awesome.
You're kind of required to.
Also, Outer Spaceman has been a huge sponsor of this year's event. So.
And they're turning 50 this year.
That's right.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
The 50th birthday party. We got lots of parties going on at 5 Points.
That's cool.
It's like one of the classicest toys you can get.
Yeah. I mean, super innovative, and one of the main reasons we have the collectibles we do now, like the way this toy scene really works. There's been so much inspiration taken from the Outer Spaceman and that style of toy. So it's really cool to sort of have like the grandfathers of designer toys hanging out with us all weekend.
And as like I said before, like I'm a collector. I like collectibles, but I feel sometimes I might get guys. What's the term? I might get elitist, I guess.
Oh, to say snooty.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm that guy who'll go to a store and be like, Pops, and all my friends.
I have a shelf of Eric Scarecrows. You can't even touch me with these Pops.
This colorway has a rarity of 6. There's only 6 made, and you can go buy your one out of 200,000 pop if you want. That's okay.
That is very snooty of you.
But it has some merit, what you were talking about, you know.
I mean, everyone's going to collect their own thing. You know?
Oh yeah.
There's only 2 vendors at 5 Points who are allowed to bring pops in. So Toy Tokyo is bringing in some exclusive pops, and YU is bringing in some exclusive Funko Pops.
But yeah, we think those are sort of like a gateway drug, and you know, you
there you go.
dabble, but we prefer you to, you know, leap above the pops.
I do have one that a friend gave me, and he worked very hard to pick the correct one, and he did. He got the exact perfect one that I would want to own.
And that's what matters.
Yeah,
and it was a nice gift.
It was.
You know,
it meant a lot.
And
Thought that counts.
it's still mint in the box, of course, obviously.
We can't take them out of the box. Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's absurd.
And play with it. Can you tell us a bit about the Designer Toy Awards? Like are there, how many categories do we have? Like what are we looking at for that?
I believe there are 21 categories this year, and a Lifetime Achievement Award and 5 Hall of Fame awards. So categories range from Toy of the Year, Best Vinyl, Best Non-Plastic, Best Resin, Best
Media outlet,
Best Licensed, Best Non-Licensed. The Designer Toy Awards are really focused around honoring artists who work in different mediums and who all put out independent releases. And so really the way that we define what a designer toy is it's a toy that's sold based on the name of the artist, not on the name of the property. And that's really, it's our job to steer the process and to honor the artists and make sure that, it's a very inclusive and open ceremony. So, we haven't announced any of the winners yet this year, so it's hard to talk about it specifically. But it's, it's going to be a great, great night. And our host this year is
Eli Uden. He's a Brooklyn-based comedian. He's Dick Shitbutt on the. His name is Dick Shitbutt on the Twitter. He's got 18,000 followers. He's very popular.
It's an easy way to get 3 very immature grown men to giggle.
I love the way you just said that so matter-of-factly. That was great.
I mean, it's what his handle is.
So he's our host this year. He's a toy collector. He's Brooklyn-based. He's super cool.
Yeah. And the designer tours are happening at the Brooklyn Bazaar this year. So right around the corner from the Expo Center.
Which is awesome. And the designer toy awards are cool because it's very community based, but we have nominations come in from all the collectors, so anyone can nominate someone, and then committees get together, professionals, collectors, a mix of people, and break it all down. So it's very fair, and it's a really interesting process. It's interesting to watch, people who've been making toys for 15 years talking to new collectors and like them discussing the merits of a particular piece or artist or what kind of year someone had. It's a really fascinating process, and it makes sure that it's very democratic. It's not 3 of us in a room like cherry picking people to be like, we think they're cool and they smell nice. They win an award.
No, it's true. We've worked really hard over the years to make sure that the process has a lot of integrity. And, every year when people win the awards, there's always a lot of laughs and a lot of tears, and people feel really acknowledged. And it's become a big part of our lives. Yeah.
And in a small community that,
a small global community,
it's cool to have everyone come together once a year and hang out and just be proud of the work that's been put out there during the course of the year. Because even being nominated is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to get word out. Because someone like myself, who I know a little bit about, some of the creators, obviously we've mentioned, Eric Scarecrow a couple times. Alex like has a bunch of figures all over his house. Unfortunately, I can't name them because I'm stupid. But Josh, like you fired off like just off the top of your head, like 7 or 8 creators that someone like me may have never heard of before. So when they see something like the Designer Toy Awards, they may see these names, the people nominated, the winners, and go, let me check this person out. Let me see what they've created.
Absolutely. I think it's important also for first-time collectors to just buy what they like. It's fine that like we nerd out hardcore on the specifics of mediums and genres and like who made what and when they made it and how did they make it and whether
how
or not
clear Eric Scarecrow's resin is.
But like, I remember, the first few figures that I bought, 10, 15 years ago, like I just bought them because I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Still buy things just because I like them. And we're really on the one hand we're elitist because we're nerds, but on the other hand we're really democratic. If somebody comes in and makes a toy, they're in. It takes 5 minutes to get into the club. It doesn't matter. We don't say, you haven't been around for 10 years, so we're not going to view your work the same, or if you've been a collector for 5 minutes, we're not going to be cool with you. Yeah. Like if people want in, they're in.
You can only wear a black T-shirt though. Black T-shirt. Like when you come this weekend, you will see it's just going to be a sea of black T-shirts with like big graphics on the front.
Yeah,
that's.
Good thing my OMV shirt is a black T-shirt.
Yep, with a graphic on the front.
Oddly fascist. Liberal community.
We were trying to print. We're having we're having live printing done.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Live printing? What like 3D printing stuff? Like toys?
Well, yes, actually, weirdly, we're also doing that, but live T-shirt printing, live screen. We'll have. I don't know. You guys posted on your Instagram our octopus graphic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so we've got a shirt with that on. You can get a black shirt with a white graphic on it, or a white shirt with a black graphic on it, just to mix it up, or tote bag. And we've got a number of other designs. We think we're going to have a design from James Groman. So for you kaiju fans, we have shirt. A couple other people throwing stuff in, a Clutter logo. And that's just going to be really cool just to be able to see it done. And we've also got a VR booth, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So totally unrelated to toys, but you can play like shoot 'em up games. So that's going to be fun.
Very interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of interactive stuff too. So.
And we also have a solid lineup of comic artists in our artist alley. We're really excited because we got Tokidoki this year to come in.
Cool.
Yeah.
James Groman's going to be there. Planet X is coming. They've never been in the U.S. before.
Wow.
Mighty Jax is coming.
Hakaba Gallery from Japan is also coming. They've never been in the U.S. We have a number of Japanese creators who've never entered the United States before who have all decided to come out for 5 points. So we're incredibly stoked.
That is incredible.
I was scanning some of the names and websites, and at least 3 popped up and were completely Japanese. I couldn't read anything. So I'll have to wait and see them in person.
They send us really cute emails that they've obviously translated like 3 times over. They're very nice.
That's pretty outstanding considering you said last year was the first year of this?
Yeah, it's the second year convention.
That's pretty, in terms of growth, it seems like you're doing the right things. Because
we're doing the right thing.
From what I understand, putting on a convention can be very difficult. And some of them don't even make it to their sophomore year, because it's just like, okay, that was overwhelming and I'm out of money. So that was an experience.
Yeah.
So to hear that in just 1 year, the show has already grown, to the point where people who have never visited the States before in a manner like this, are going to your show.
This all really comes from the work that Miranda O'Brien did in creating Clutter Magazine and helping to make a community around the world from the Clutter brand. So if it wasn't for her reputation and the integrity that she's brought to the community, this wouldn't be possible.
That's awesome.
So thank you, Miranda. Too bad she's not on this podcast with me.
One of the names I did see in Artist Alley was Ben Bishop, who I've met a couple times in the past. I own his graphic novel, and I own a sketch cover that he drew for me of Raphael from the Turtles fighting Mr. Freeze.
Of course.
That's cool. You You already gotten in.
Yeah, yeah.
No, Ben's super cool. I met him. I can't remember what convention I did that I met him at, but I follow him on Instagram. I think his work's great. When he signed up for Artist Alley, I basically hit the yes button immediately. That I was like, no, he's in. He's good. I promise.
He has a gorgeous banner of some kind of flying hawk. The detail on it is amazing.
Yeah, he's a wonderful artist, and I'm really, really excited that he's coming out for this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a fun guy. I remember you chatted with him for a while at ConnectiCon last year.
Yeah. Did you?
Oh, the other person that's coming this year that's crazy is Unbox. So Unbox Industries, for people who kind of really follow the scene, they're one of the biggest manufacturers of designer toys in China.
Oh wow!
And they've never done
A U.S. show.
no, they do
What do
they do designer toys.
Oh, they do designer.
They've
They've
never-
never done an East Coast show.
They've never done an East Coast show before, so they're actually coming this year. And if you go online and you look up Unbox and just scroll through and take it in, the work is absolutely incredible. The other person that's coming this year is Brian Ewing. He usually we only ever see him in October, but he's coming out. His posters are incredible. Ron English is coming. Tar McPherson is coming. And I have to also give a shout out to Kid Robot, who are incredible. They sponsor the Designer Toy Awards every year. So the thing that I failed to mention, which is super cool about Kid Robot's participation in the Designer Toy Awards, is that whichever artist wins the Breakthrough Artist category gets a production dunny.
Nice.
So past winners have been
Horrible Adorables.
Horrible Adorables, Double
Parlor.
Parlor, 12 Dot. I think that's it.
They are the ones who've gotten production pieces.
They're the ones who've made
Other
it.
people have won the award.
They're the ones who've made it through the hazing process.
Who made it through the end.
Actually got the award. So thank you everybody at Kid Robot.
But yeah, it's a really great show. We're super excited. Is there anyone else in Artist Alley you guys are excited about?
I recalled seeing a name, Bill Walko, I believe.
Yeah.
His,
Bill Walko's one.
That looked interesting. In fact, I will probably go try and buy something from him.
His stuff is like a weird mix of being like really, really amazing and like really sort of commercial.
It's some cartoony. It's a very Tim.
Bruce Timm almost.
Bruce Timm.
Like,
Thank you, John.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
He had. Yeah. I wanted to make me a sentinel.
like a Sentinel, like toy or a Sentinel drawing.
No, he looks like he does art. He does prints.
Right,
I see
right.
a lot of, like,
He had sculpting tools with him that weekend, so I don't think he's gonna make it. I'm just kidding.
Ah.
Now, is that to someone who, again, like me, who I've never really been to a show like I've been to New York Comic Con past X amount of years. I think every year besides one since 2009. So, and the block is one of my favorite parts. I love seeing all of the figures and sculpts and toys that I cannot afford. And I go, Alex, did you see this? Because it's great. You should buy it so I can live vicariously through you. Is there, in the toy culture, is there like a commission? Like, could you approach a creator, a designer, and be like, hey, I had this thing in mind. Do you take commission? Do you make custom toys for customers?
Many artists do custom toys. We actually during 5 Points Festival at the Clutter Magazine booth, we're having the 4th annual DTA Dunny show.
That's right.
The 4th annual DTA Dunny show.
Annual, but it's the fourth.
It's the 4th DTA Dunny show. They were supposed to be annual. We missed it.
There's been 4 of them.
There's been 4 of them. This is the 4th. So it's a ton of artists who are doing custom dunnies specifically for this show. And, a lot of them and a lot of artists, if you say I have a dunny or I have a money or I have, whatever figure you've chosen, I would love you to customize it. As long as you ask nicely, there will likely be a wait. A lot of the popular customizers do have wait lists that can be up to a year or 2 long, but they will absolutely, take a deposit, take your toy and do it. And, have a back and forth with you. I know my fiance is an artist and he just did a custom dunny for a collector who was like covered in skulls, and they had a couple of conversations and he created this insane dunny just completely covered in skulls.
That's rad. I mean,
So yeah, if you can get approaching people on Instagram works really well. You can go to someone's Instagram, see if you like their work, send them a DM and just be like, hey, I think your work's amazing. I'd love you to do a custom. And the worst an artist can do is say no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And most of the
It's like-
time when they do say no, they're usually pretty polite about it. So it's
Yeah.
just, not right now, something like that. So
Right.
there's no harm in asking.
Or they'll just say my wait list is really long, try back later, or just warn you that, it's going to be X amount of time before you get your piece, but they'd love to do it. So
Right.
Or X amount of dollars.
they'll tell you how many dollars it's going to be. You don't have to worry about that. But it's
All
true.
right.
One thing that's really cool about this art scene is that, there are all these incredibly, incredibly talented people who are wonderful painters or sculptors or whatever, but everyone is so approachable. Everyone is so sweet. It's not like with fine art where people can be kind of snooty and weird. Everyone is, they'll be like, you'll go up to someone like Eric Scarecrow and be like, how did you make that so amazing? And be like, pressure pot. And then show you a YouTube video about how to do it. Everyone's really cool.
I've gone to him for a couple of years, and he's always been really nice. Also, really thankful. Like when I'm giving my money, I've never had someone be so thankful to take my money.
It's funny how that works.
But even when I'm just hanging out looking at his stuff, he's been super good. And and that's usually the case with many other of the artists and creators.
Yeah, 100%. At New York Comic Con a couple of years ago, I ended up at Eric Scarecrow's booth, and I didn't realize, and I was looking at the pieces, and I bought one, and I got back to my booth, and my fiance was like, do you know who you were just talking to? And I was like, nope, it's our first Comic Con. I don't know. He's like, that was Eric Scarecrow.
He's such a
I had no idea.
He's really-
And now he's in the desert. He ran away. He used to live in Queens. He lives in the desert.
That's why he hasn't been around.
That explains the absence the last couple of years.
Yeah. He moved to Nevada. I think Nevada, somewhere dry.
yeah.
He's making cards and Bloodborne figures now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 5 Points Festival is coming up very soon. It is June 2nd and 3rd of this very year, 2018. You can you get tickets at the door?
You can. They'll be about $5 more expensive than if you buy them in advance, but there are tickets available at the door.
So you can go check that out. If you haven't gotten tickets, you can pick them up at the door. It is at the Brooklyn Expo Center. Again, that's June 2nd and 3rd, 2018. Sarah and Josh, I know we're gonna wrap things up here because you guys literally have a convention to put on.
Literally.
And so we'll let you go, but I do have to say thank you so much for making time, giving us the opportunity to cover this show and see what it's like, and hopefully tell our listeners all about it and see, give them like the experience, and if they weren't able to attend it. So thank you so much for coming on.
You guys.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we'll see you this weekend. We'll see some of you this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes. John and Alex are going to be there in my stead. I unfortunately have other things that I have to take care of, but they're going to tell me all about it, and I will be very upset, most likely, that I wasn't able to attend, because that's how it tends to happen.
I'll try to post as many pictures as I can.
Yes, many
We
pictures.
have art RV outside, so if you come to the art RV, I will be there.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
We can all have a beer together.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great.
John will have 3. He'll cover the 2 of us.
All right, enjoy the rest of your podcast, guys.
Oh, hey, thanks so
Thanks.
much. This was a lot of fun. Best of luck. I hope the show goes incredible. I don't know if you're supposed to say break a leg for a convention.
I don't know.
And some of us will hopefully see you guys next week.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Thanks for having us on.
All right,
you.
have a good one. All right, so big thanks again to Sarah and Josh for coming on. They are insanely busy, and the fact that they were able to carve out a half hour of time was pretty monumental. So big thanks again. Now it's time. We talked about 5 points. You guys are going to be there. We're going to talk about it a lot more next week, I'm assuming,
I hope so.
because you guys are going to be there.
I'm kind of curious because I will be interested in, talking to some of the creators. I want to know what their individual styles are for making what they make.
Mm-hmm. Like
'Cause
their
I'm-
influences and stuff.
Well, not so much that. I feel like some of that might be a little bit obvious because
Okay.
you could tell who's into Ratfink and who's in some more
Right,
modern
but sort
kind
of 50s that Brad Fink
Yeah.
character, like the
not quite
greaser
50s.
culture.
I'm looking more towards what materials they use.
Okay, like the actual engineering behind it, and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
because there's a lot of new stuff coming out that it's gonna be way ahead of like whatever I can like kind of manage to think of.
Yeah.
When I'm like, oh, does someone use ZBrush? Of course they use ZBrush.
Or like,
Shut up.
did you sculpt it, make a mold out of silicone? It's like, no, they put it into a computer, and then the computer made it.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So it's gonna be neat to ask who still sculpts by hand, what kind of materials they use to sculpt that out, and then making the casting. As we're going through, I was looking at a bunch of creators and some of their bios or histories, whatever, but we'll have like their process in it. And like, yeah, some of them did do like pour their own molds and actively will, build up their barriers and do their resin pulls or however they make their vinyls. And there's one guy who specializes in airbrushing to paint his figures and whatnot. But then at the same time, there's still like digital artists and 3D artists who will be designing in a space that doesn't actually exist because it exists in the virtual world. Jared, have you seen like any videos of people actively sculpting like with ZBrush or like?
No, and I can't even fathom it.
You know what? Some of Jamie Noguchi's videos from when he's like making his like skull monsters and whatnot. It's just appearing out of nowhere, and he's shaping it
in multiple dimensions,
like a lump of clay, but it's a digital lump,
and it just
ZBrush.
floats there.
Yeah, and like you have to. It's amazing. Like a great example is like I follow Rick Baker on Instagram, and he has a lot of free time now. He retired. And he has. Well, I think
he would just take a vacation.
No,
but that man keeps working. Rick Baker, like legendary monumental creature maker,
a
just
god.
Movies upon movies upon movies, and yeah, like John's saying, like he put up like a quick Instagram video of him like what he's like sculpting and working.
He's good at everything.
It's angering.
Like
I'm kind of mad.
Like he's like, okay, yeah, I've done the sculpting in real life, but let me try ZBrush. Oh, he's amazing at that. He's amazing at everything. Like he started 3D printing a Frankenstein model. Have we talked about this?
He was doing a Phantom of the Opera.
Yes. Oh my God, it looks so good.
So he sculpted a Phantom of the Opera in a computer, and then had it 3D printed out, and like
that he painted it.
And like he's been taking pictures of it, and I can't tell what pictures are a digital model and what pictures are a physical object.
Like, is that a statue? Because it looks like makeup. It looks like a real person in makeup. It's amazing. Like, but like he started off with this Frankenstein maquette he printed, and then he painted it, and it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then he kept going, and then all of a sudden he has the entire laboratory that he made.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he wired miniaturized laboratory equipment that sparks and lights up, and there's
smokes.
smoke, and like. You're amazing, dude.
It's just one more thing about Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
He had a video just the other. Yeah, exactly. Jared's looking at it right now.
This is absurd.
Like
it's beautiful.
That's a 3D printing right there.
No, it's not.
It is. Yeah.
But like people will be capable of this at where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I want to chew their ear. Or is that the saying? No, that's not it at all.
Chew their ear, yeah.
And,
is that it? Okay.
And there's the case of like, well, do they print it or do they use like a CNC to carve away like a block of foam or whatever you might CNC? Like sometimes it's on wood products or there's a laser etchers and whatnot. But one more thing with Rick Baker, he put up a video, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about dealing with contacts. And he's like, oh yeah, I just figured I'd, go into my kit and like make a Count Dooku or someone else.
Looked just
and so
I thought it was a picture of Christopher Lee.
That's actually Rick Baker.
That's
as
just
Count
him
Dooku.
with a little bit of makeup on.
You're gonna find like a video of him of his eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like one eye is like blue and one eye is like his regular color or whatever. And he's like looking around and the eye's moving. And then he pops out the contact. And
Terrifying.
it's like he's popping out like a
I just saw it.
Like a porcelain plate. It's like a thick slab of resin or porcelain
How
or whatever.
do you put that into your eye?
And you hear it like hit the table and everything. And he's like, oh yeah, I would wear this like, for the shoot, take it out for lunch, put it back in for the rest of the day, and it's nothing. I'm fine. It's fine. But then the kicker was like, and like these days, I don't have much patience for actors who can't do like the really like flexy, the really thin contacts.
Right.
And he's like, I don't have any patience for them. They can't do like the easy contacts they have now, and like he's putting in like this entire like shard of plate into his face.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought him up is that we'll probably meet people on his artistic level. I have no doubt at this con we're going to, and I cannot wait to just revel in all of it. Like it'll probably be like overwhelming eye candy everywhere, and I cannot wait.
There's going to be a lot of variety too.
Yeah.
Whereas like there's some Comic Cons you could go to. It's like yes, everyone has drawn a version of Batman, and they might all look pretty much the same. If you have the right eye for it, you can pick out an Ivan Rice Batman versus a Jim Lee Batman.
Because DC and Marvel have these big houses of like characters. They kind of over time develop a house style.
There was a point in the '90s when like Batman had a regulation height for his ears.
Yeah. It was 3 feet.
Like when you draw Batman, his ear cowls are this big.
Yes.
Yeah. But they've given some more freedom now, but like there's going to be so much freedom at the show. Like I said, when we were talking to Sarah and Josh, like there's no oversight for them to make what they want to make, which will be fun.
Yeah, if you want to make, like, you showed me him and like this guy who we didn't bring up, but like I would love to know their opinion. They'll probably like laugh and like say how irreverent he is and like how funny he is, but Sucklord.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make something like that, you just go ahead and do it. Like it's cool.
Like any major company would definitely turn down all Sucklord products.
Yes, but
and even like we're saying his name, like what the hell is Sucklord? Like whatever you can imagine, you're not quite correct, but you're also on the right track.
You're close.
a stone's throw away.
I really don't have a definition for what Sucklord makes.
It's kind of like tongue-in-cheek bootleg vintage toys with like a very naughty sense of humor.
It's not quite vulgar.
Yeah.
But there is like some dirtiness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like I'm not going to say some of these names of characters, like what his figures might be exclaiming or whatever. I'm not going to say them in front of Grandma, but I'll definitely like snap a picture to show to my buddies or whatever.
Like, look at what this says. Like very like, I don't want to say anything like I'm insulting him or sense of humor, but like very like, I don't know. Like I feel like I would make this joke in my like these jokes are like in my like fun teen humor. Like
yeah.
Just making terrible jokes and like it's very funny and like I can't wait to see it and that should be interesting. But
and he's got the freedom to do that.
Yeah,
and he's making a living, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. Good for them.
Yeah,
but I do want to. I am excited to see what other panels they might have to.
Yeah, like
that should be fun.
Plus, there's all the. I mean, for John, there'll be all the beer.
Yes.
Looks like there's a designated area for food trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which nowadays, like food trucks are the jam.
It's a thing. When I was
at PAX East last month, lines were like hundreds deep.
Did you partake of any of the food trucks?
I did not.
Okay.
I partake in food trucks at Connecticut.
Okay.
Because it's typically like one of the food truck festivals, like literally like across the block.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll typically go there instead of paying, $30 for con food.
With his like cold fries.
Yeah, and maybe cooked chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Mayhaps, yeah.
Mayhaps, thank you. But yeah, I remember when I was living down in Florida, like food trucks were definitely a thing. And there was it kind of sounds gross, but there was a part of the city called the Milk District. Because it was right next to a dairy, and then they would have like Tasty Tuesdays where you'd go in, get your beer inside, but then go outside to buy all the food. And like, so I can't, I can only imagine, like it's going to be that sort of like the creativity that I saw down there will be, everyone like, it's like these trucks are very specialized.
Yeah.
At least from my experience, like
it's like they're themed.
Yeah. Like there was one truck that I wish I still had the photo. It was called the Wampa Champa, and it was Star Wars themed because the Wampa is a space yeti from the planet Hoth. And they're all Star Wars themed, fried foods. But that's just an example.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I only saw a couple things I probably want to come home with as far as figures concerned, or even art. It's not worth bringing my portfolio bag for.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not out of the scope of possibilities that'll have to make a few trips to the car.
I was just gonna say because like while you may not be collecting pieces of paper with art on it, you may be collecting boxes of things containing things.
Yeah.
Which can be cumbersome
Yes, yes.
and would require trips to the car. I've already tasked you with keeping an eye out for a couple things for me.
There were a lot of pins.
Oh yeah, some
Pins are. We talked about this a couple
Enamel pins,
episodes
man.
ago on one of John's episodes. Enamel pins, they are the hotness.
Because
Like
they're just so I don't know how to describe them. They're just so like fun and like I don't.
it's a really neat way to express yourself.
Yes.
You can have an enamel pin. You can have a pin that just goes right to the point and says, screw X.
Yeah.
You know, I hate this thing. I love this thing. Or you can have something more subtle. Like I can't even think of an example, but
So I bought one at ConnectiCon last year. I was with niece Megan, and she wanted to get one too, but I wouldn't allow it because I didn't want her going home and her mom seeing it, and then I'd have to have
was
a
it
talk.
like a saucy pin?
It wasn't terrible.
Okay.
The pin was a metal garbage can with flame coming out of it,
Okay.
and and it said "Fandom Trash" on it.
Phantom trash.
Fandom.
Oh,
Fandom
fandom
trash.
trash. Okay.
And it was a flaming trash can.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's like, I'll buy this, and Meg is like, I want one too, and I'm like, nope, I'm not letting you go home with a pin. This is Phantom Trash to express yourself and have your mom see that. That's my sister doesn't need to deal with that right now. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's funny, you know it's funny. We all know none of us are actually trash.
Yeah.
But some of the less enlightened, less fun.
Might be like, why is my daughter self-identifying as trash? I don't understand. Like, no, it's like a fun trash.
It's humorous.
Yeah.
I'm really, you're really into anime. You kind of got to admit a few things about yourself. It's healthy. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah. In a way, we're all different kinds of fandom trash.
that's deep. You should get a pin that says that.
Yes, thank you. It'll be a big one. It'll be huge. Like wearing a plate.
Sure, you'd have to do like a regular edition and then like a glitter edition.
Or a glow-in-the-dark one.
Oh, you beat me on that one. You
Thank
win. You just
I win the no prize.
well, fabulous. No prize. We'll just have to make 3 now. We'll make three variants.
yeah.
Yep. And one
Um,
of them will only be like a limited run of like 6.
So we have the one pin to pick up for JR. I don't want to say what it is so that no one else can beat us to it.
True.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening.
I'd hate to get there and have it be sold out. But there are some other vendors who like just had pins,
Cool.
and that looked like fun.
Because like, there'll be stuff that's probably not on this website. Just like
Mhm.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
sure
yeah.
there'll be all sorts of things, and I would like to see if there's any He-Man pins. 'Cause I've seen some pretty ridiculous ones.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, like that famous YouTube video. Like,
Have you seen a cosplay of that?
the Hey
I've seen,
Oh,
I've seen,
God.
I've seen cosplays of that.
like I'm sure there are pins out there of that. Like, amazing.
We referenced what was that? The 8-foot tall outer spaceman.
Yes.
The Gigantor. Was that
I think Miss Bose said it was Colossus Rex.
Colossus? In the picture that's on the Instagram, it hasn't been painted yet,
Okay.
and I believe they were gonna paint it in time for the show.
Okay.
Which that's a lot of paint
It is.
for an 8-foot figure.
They better have a lot of paintbrushes on hand.
I slowly realized
Yeah.
about 10 minutes ago
Yeah.
how soon the show is. Because I can't remember if it was during pre-show or if it was when we were actually
It
recording.
was on air when you're like 6 days.
Yeah, it was like 6 days. It is
It was very gracious.
It
of
is
them
in
to
2
talk to
days.
us.
And I said it was about 50 hours.
it is the day after tomorrow.
Very, very gracious.
For
of
some
them to
reason,
talk
like
to
the
us.
holiday messed me up.
Yeah.
You know, so I still think it's like pretty early in the week.
Yeah, it's
Nope.
Wednesday.
2 hours ago. But I learned in the last couple minutes.
Well, I didn't offer them Friday as an option to record.
Right, right.
Because I figure, A, they might be a little busy.
Oh,
And B,
oh,
they'd probably
yes.
want us to get the episode up
A little
with more than
yeah.
like 5 hours before the show happens.
Yep. With 6 days, notice.
Well, I loved like even with that time crunch, they were very. If you brought up this topic, they were so overflowing with passion and like we want to talk about this.
Mhm.
Like they weren't just like, bullet points. They were obviously so invested. So that was really cool to talk about that sort of topic with people who are so
Yeah.
passionate about it. That's cool.
I'm not gonna say we have a lot of experience talking to like people in businesses or where there's multiple wheels turning at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
but we've all experienced the point where it's like you ask a question, they go, my partner has the answer for that, but they're not around. We'll have to get back to you. They knew everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
They had an answer for everything.
very
It was great.
authoritative.
They were. It's unbelievable to think that, because it must be a massive undertaking
Yeah.
to
So many plates.
spin off
Yeah.
of something. Because it's one thing. It's like, oh yeah, we just do it at New York Comic Con.
We're a
Yeah.
part of New York.
We can lean on New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
They're going to organize their massive event, and we're going to have our thing there.
That's something I didn't realize. I thought the block was still going on, but like
It
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like the award show isn't there anymore.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
become this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's like very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep. It's I cannot believe, because when I asked like at the very beginning, I was like, have you been in this from the start? I thought it was like 5-10 years ago.
That's
Like,
that's
How long have I not
was-
heard about
I
this?
thought it
Yeah,
was like
right?
at least 5 years old, and like I didn't realize.
With the quality of the product they're putting out, I thought it was going to be significantly older. To hear that they're in their sophomore year is pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
That is coming up this weekend, not 6 days from now, like 2 days from now. Actually, by the time this up, it'll probably be one day. Alex and John, I hope you have a lot of fun. I hope
We're gonna get you that swag.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, that's gifts are cool. Just don't expect. Typically you don't pay someone for a gift.
No,
right?
what?
Yeah,
I would never.
because you guys would be
expect
buying
that.
me a gift.
Yeah, I'm
correct.
buying you it.
Obviously, of course.
Maybe like a really long, uncomfortable hug in return.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
cool with that. That is proper payment
Yeah.
right there.
As they were saying, like this, we'll have some appearances that are like first time on East Coast, first
Yeah.
time in America.
In America.
And for any listeners who like can't make it to this one, either it's too soon or location's not quite right, there's also Designer Con, which will be in Anaheim, California,
Oh yeah.
on the other side.
A stone's
Of the
throw
United
from
States.
Disneyland.
Oh,
Yeah, in Anaheim.
and so like there'll be. It said there were some reps or like Designer Con will be like have an exhibit there
Mm-hmm.
to like also spread some news and spread some word.
Synergy.
So this way, you have a chance to try and find other events like this one that we're talking about. Because we like supporting live events and supporting independent creators, and we'll do our best to try and help you out and find more events like it.
I think this is my first time going with you guys as I don't know if I am like an official
correspondent,
affiliate.
yeah.
With I'm a what do they call those? Like,
Field reporter.
Yeah, field reporter. Yeah, a local affiliate of OMV.
Putting you to work.
Yeah, I know you've gone to a lot of like PAX and like steampunk things, but like it's kind of cool. Like I'm part of the. I'll hold the boom mic.
Yeah, don't embarrass us, okay?
Yeah, I won't.
No, I'm
I
kidding.
promise. But seriously, if you fuck this up,
Well, it's. I mean, let's see. Who have we gotten? We've had Brett come with us to Steampunk World's Fair.
cool.
And he's gotten there with Press Pass with us, and then we've sent Colin and Vicky to
Anime Boston.
Anime Boston,
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
and that worked out well for them. That was fun. Yeah, I'm not sure what else we've had.
That's it in terms of.
Colin comes with us to Kineticon.
Yep. Colin does Kineticon with us.
Nice.
As official. Like Colin and Joe are always fantastic in the fact that for PAX they're not obligated to do anything with us.
Oh yeah.
They're there as paid attendees,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they still sacrifice their time to like take mental notes and come on and give us their entire night recording one or more podcasts.
That's awesome. Like, their whole
for the
experience is cool.
show, so obviously we owe them a huge amount because, like I said, they paid to go. They're an attendee. They had no obligation to come and talk about it with us.
I have to realize I'm just mic'd because I keep nodding my head. And,
It's just audio.
yes, yes. But
But with having more people along also helps us help the show
mhm.
because that's more eyes and
yeah,
more
I will
ears
give
and more
you places. As much
As
that I
much
can
eyes as
remember.
you can,
as
man.
much eyes and however many ears you want.
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where they're hunting the treasure and the map opens. Have you ever seen that one?
I have.
The map opens up and like SpongeBob and Patrick's eyes literally like suck down
Yes,
onto the map and they
yes.
start like vigorously looking at it. That's how I picture you looking at everything.
Is that when they find the 2 gold doubloons?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think the treasure is like ends up being nothing or something like
Plastic.
that.
Friendship.
Yeah. F is for fun. Friends that do stuff together.
Used for uranium bombs.
Bombs.
And it's for no survivors. Whoa, Plankton. Whoa,
kids show, man.
Whoa, slow down,
Kid
Plankton.
show. But I hope you guys have the most fun. I hope
Thank you, Winona Ryder.
that would be most good. I hope your wallets are crying in agony by the end of the day.
If, because like Ashley Wood 3A isn't going to be there. I didn't see them on the exhibitor list.
Which is
But-
probably for the best.
Well, I mean, if there happens to be a vendor who still carries product, if they have a specific Dr. Doom
So cool.
or the Blind Cowboy, I really like the Blind Cowboy. Like,
Yeah.
You'll have to show me.
I used to want some of his robot characters just so I could say I had one of, because it's just like the right name to. Because you want to have like something cool of.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
that's
right
my
people. Yeah,
That's my.
exactly.
That's my Picasso.
That's my.
it. You know, it is like that.
It's actually pronounced
it's his
Picasso.
least known painting. Nobody knows it would be a Picasso, but it's my fucking Picasso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when I say I have a Dr. A and I have an X Scarecrow, and I want an Ashley Wood. I feel like those are some of the correct names to spit out. But yeah, the there's 3 versions of the Blind Cowboy,
Cool.
and it's kind of like his version of a Clint Eastwood almost.
Oh, very
There's
nice.
one with like a red.
like a serape.
The
No.
the
Poncho?
shawl, the poncho.
poncho.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But
We were
then-
all struggling to find the word, but we knew it. We could
I was
see it.
gesturing.
Serapes.
You know, Marty McFly hides the
Yeah,
plate
yeah.
behind
in
it.
Back to the Future 3. Yeah.
And then there's.
Superior Back to the Future. Just kidding. It's not. It's not.
It-
It's
It's
really
not bad.
I'm gonna.
It's not bad.
I mean, it's a good movie.
Young Alex thought 2 was his favorite, but then Alex grew up and 3 became my favorite.
You're a fan of that. You're a fan of that Mad Dog.
I kind of am.
Buford. Mad Dog 10.
How many has he had? That's his first one. He just stands there and holds it.
He's been holding it all night.
Holding what? I don't get that. reference.
Doc can't
Doc.
hold his liquor.
Oh,
Doc had to break up with his girlfriend to go
Yeah.
back to the
Right.
future.
He had
spoilers.
to go back to the future.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
fantastic.
so the one with the red poncho has like 2 pistols
Yes.
and a horse. And then there's one that's more of a black toned one, which has like a pistol and a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one that's like a white ghost variant that I've never
Okay.
seen out of the package.
Nice.
But I'd prefer the red one, just because I like how it looks with the 2 pistols.
Red's
It
cool.
looks, yeah.
Raphael was my
if
favorite.
if you're listening, you want to send us some product to to review, the red one.
So if you review a product, you get to keep it, right?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't think like if it's like, hey, I'm reviewing this high tech super gizmo whoozy what's it. Typically, you got to send it back.
Oh.
They drop it off and let you know when they come collect it. Like
Say
when,
nice things about it.
like when Simone Hirsch got that arm, the robot arm.
She went in surgery today.
That was today.
Mm-hmm. I've been checking Instagram looking for an update. It was 8 to 12-hour surgery. Mm-hmm. You know, have you ever
whistle at the same time?
you both did the pew whistle at the same. Do you know who she is? The girl who makes shitty robots.
Oh, her. I do know her. Like the lipstick robot that just like.
Yes.
She
Is
went
dead.
in, she has a brain tumor.
Oh my god.
She's in surgery today.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So
It's really unfortunate because she's like a person that I would want least to get sick.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's been creepy, because like I knew she was a person, but Jar's been paying more attention to her videos, and he like caught me up on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Jar was on the ball, and I'm like playing catch up.
Yeah.
So as time's been going by, I've been like watching some of her past videos, and like so her tumor is like right behind her eye, and you can like now you can kind of see like her face isn't quite shaped right anymore.
Because it's pressing.
And yeah.
she even points it out. She's like, you can see it in my old videos.
But what's been weird is like watching the old videos and like she'll try and activate her robot and like it malfunctions or something, and she kind of like sighs and then rubs her eye, and it's like,
Is that the
like,
thing?
Like
It's-
something you're like, oh, it's nothing until it's not nothing.
right.
Yeah,
And I
that's-
don't have like a term for the emotion that I felt.
Like retroactive
dread.
dread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dread. That's
What?
that's a real dread. It's
So-
like what a amazingly perfect word to describe what that is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
dread.
So here's hoping the best for her to come out of surgery. And,
yes.
And be fine and not lose her eye and make some more robots and
His
if
robots
you know,
are great.
I'm sure Jamie was there to help out and use whatever myth busting he could to to make
Obviously.
sure her eye was okay.
Is it Adam or Jamie? I think it's Adam that she hangs out with a lot.
Which one's not the walrus?
It's Adam.
That's damn it.
Jamie
You're
is the walrus.
right. Yes, you're correct.
Cuckoo.
I was incorrect.
By the way, we're not calling Jamie Heineman a walrus. We're just saying he has a mustache that resembles walrus tusks.
Yeah. If someone were to draw a caricature of him, we know what it was.
Like olden time presidents. You know,
Of
they
course,
always have
yes.
the-
Taft.
Yeah, Taft.
Did he have a stash? He died in a bathtub, right?
No, he got stuck in a bathtub, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
got him out with like a tub of grease and some spatulas. And
That's a good way to go.
Both Adam and Jamie, both brilliant men.
yes, brilliant,
Both brilliant.
and she's brilliant too. This lady,
She's great.
yeah,
We don't deserve her.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
She's too good for us.
Yep.
But anyway,
5 Points Fest. Much fun to be had. I can't wait to hear all about it and see what you guys bought me.
I keep nodding, and I have to stop doing that.
Huge thanks to Sarah Booz and Josh Kimberg for coming on
They were so cool.
and chatting with us about it. I hope you guys get to bump into them at some
That would
point
be great.
and say hey thanks in person. They were super rad. I hope the show goes swimmingly without a hitch for many more 5 Points in the future.
Yes.
Maybe I can even attend one, and I will stop eventually. Eventually, I will stop making Gangs of New York's joke.
What,
Gangs
did I miss
of
one?
New York jokes.
oh, recently? I don't-
It was it was a different chat.
Okay.
Was it a different chat?
when I put you guys in the same chat to schedule
Yeah,
this?
yeah. It
Oh,
was, it
Oh,
was a
yeah.
different chat.
You
Oh, my
unleashed, and
God.
I regretted that.
I did.
No. I was the one who felt bad because I'm so ignorant.
And
I
then
don't know
Brett-
the references.
Brett was telling me you were sending him screen tabs, too.
I screenshot it and sent it to Brett because Brett could appreciate it because it's been
Brett and JR together can quote the entire movie.
there's been
Gangs of New
multiple
York.
occasions driving home from steampunk conventions in Jersey where Brett and I just literally quote the entirety of Gangs of New York.
Wow.
And Alex is just silent.
Both discs.
Wow. Amazing.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, guys, have fun. John, thanks so much for coming on.
I love coming on.
Oh, stop.
You guys are my favorite podcast to be on.
You are
Thanks.
just too kind. You're
It's
too
also
kind.
the only one.
Shut up.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Say that when we stop.
Sorry.
Yes, big thanks, John. Thanks for coming on. Big thanks to Sarah and Josh. Can't wait to hear all about the show. I think that's all I got. I've said thank you about
Yeah,
13 times. So
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank
you know,
you.
Okay.
I hope you have a lot of fun. 5
Thank
Points
you,
Fest.
Alex.
Yep.
I hope the show goes well. Big thanks to Sarah and Josh.
It's late.
We're getting giggly. All right, that's gonna do it. So until next time, when we have our big 5 point, I don't know if John's gonna be back next week. Are we gonna force him to come on?
We'll figure
2
something
weeks
out.
I'll have to move
Yeah.
some things around. Also, I just wanted to real quick say
Yeah.
that the 5 Points Festival, I think it's a play on words with the 5 points of New York, but also in retro action figures, there are usually 5 points of articulation.
Right.
Mind
And
blowing.
when you close your hand, they make a fist,
Yes.
and you rule
Half the universe gets wiped out.
the New York with the fist.
Yes.
Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York.
So until next time,
I'm Alex.
I've been Jay. What the
Holy
fuck? You're
shit.
messing up the.
Oh, my. Oh, sorry. And I'm John.
This has been episode 324 of Opinions May Vary.